Day 19, day 19, day 19, day 19. Updates! We gotta do updates. Behind the scenes, making up a dealership 800% elite auto. Am I making you dizzy? Update number 1. Look at Zach.
We have air conditioning.
Look how comfortable he looks. The air conditioning is working. Thank you, Jesus. We can actually get rid of these fans. They're afraid to get rid of the fans because we've been using fans for so long. But get this, turns out, so our AC unit, the reason it wasn't working is it's leaking Freon, and so they have to replace the unit because they can't necessarily fix the leak. But what we found out is you can put Freon in there and have it working. It's just the Freon is going to ultimately dissipate and you're gonna have to refill it. So for the last 2 months where we've been in here in the heat, we could have been just putting in Freon. Crazy, right? Just goes to show, gotta ask lots of questions, look for solutions. So now everybody's happy, including Logan. You happy, bro?
Yes, sir.
Does it feel a lot better in here?
Oh my gosh. I've been the one complaining about it.
Well, I've been complaining about it too. But Logan, while I've got you, let's go. Oh, what's Kelly's number over here? Oh, don't tell anyone, it's a secret code. He's putting in the top secret code. I don't know. Let me try. Okay. So. Now it looks like that key is turned.
I do know that's.
Do you know how we get in there?
I did, and it's a pain in the butt. It's hard as well.
Why? Why is it so hard?
If it's out of sequence, see how you're out of sequence. Hit it till the light goes off. Stop.
How many people does it take to put in a code and unlock a door? That is the answer, or that is the problem that we're gonna solve right here today. Woo! We in there. We in there. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us, right? Isn't that your jam? All right, I got Logan with me today. We're gonna do an update. I gotta figure out a good spot to put this camera that has good lighting. Let's go right here. Because lighting matters, folks. How's that? Hey! All right, that's good, right? Good light?
Yeah.
You like, is that your good side?
I think they're both good sides.
They're both good sides? I'm gonna turn off this fan and talk loud. So, real quick, guys, this is Logan. He's been on before. Logan, give him a quick little update on what's going on, and then I got some questions for you. But let me go turn off the fan.
So right now, we are very excited to have the AC on, as he mentioned. We've got some tech stuff going on today. We've had a few internet leads we're working this morning. It seems to be picking up. It's a little slow on a Thursday, but things are coming in, so we're happy about that, keeping us busy. Also gives us time to learn. So I've been learning a lot of stuff behind the scenes with like desking and finance, things like that. So it has been a lot of fun. Other than that, we're just ready to keep on selling some cars.
We are gonna keep selling cars and developing leaders, because that's what we do best, is develop leaders. Logan is one of those leaders that we are developing. Logan is one of our, what we call the triplets. Explain to him what a triplet is.
So basically, we have the 3 people that sit up at the tower here. We are floor managers. So our responsibilities are, correcting wrongs, training people, appraisals, selling cars, you name it. We pretty much do all of it.
Yeah, learning to contract deals, selling cars, appraising cars, learning to desk deals, helping other people close deals, developing the people beneath you. It's like every job in the dealership all in one.
Yes.
How's it been for you for the last few weeks?
It's a lot to process, but once you get a system down, it gets a lot easier. As far as now, we've got a way to appraise trades, so it's not like all over the place like it was at one point. So
Everything's been all over the place at one point. For
Yes,
sure.
yeah, but the systems are getting in place, so it's all about the processes of, from beginning to end, making sure everything is time efficient and done properly. That way we don't run into hiccups.
Yeah, super important. As a leader in that particular role, there are a lot of people that are looking to you, looking at you. And we had a conversation earlier in the week. We had a conversation as your GM, your sales managers, finance managers. Every Monday we meet and we talk about everybody in all the different roles. And there was a conversation that was happening last Monday where we were talking about you out of some concerns. And for those that have been watching the docuseries, you would have been involved in that particular conversation. But you and I talked about that a little bit more last night.
Yes.
In depth, and I wanted the people here to be able to know and understand more about who you really are. And so when you saw us having a conversation that was like, hey, Logan's kind of not performing in this area, he needs to be growing in this area, there may be an issue in this area, like how did that make you feel? How did you receive that?
Initially, it was like, dang, because it was kind of some things, stigmas that I've been trying to detach from myself. So
Yeah.
I kind of thought that I was at that point, so it almost felt like a haunting in a way. So that was the initial feeling.
Yeah.
Which we'll get more into what that is. I'm comfortable talking about it.
Okay, good.
But yeah, that was the initial.
Yeah, it was kind of a haunting. It felt like your past was coming back. So talk to us a little bit about that. What is your past to look like? Who is Logan? Where do you come from? And
So I'm from Paducah, Kentucky. Well, Ballard County. That's where I grew up.
Paducah.
Yeah, there's nothing there. You're not missing anything. I followed a girl up here after college. I went to school at Western Kentucky University. I was engaged, and we'll get into why that happened as well, because it was two different problems. But anyway, so I moved up to Lexington. I got started in the car industry. I was 21 years old, 27 now. So started selling cars, came out, got my first check, and was like, oh, I found my career.
right?
And
It's easy to do in the car business.
easy. And I figured it out pretty easy because I've always worked on cars. I've done mechanic work, details. Always had a passion for it. And I started at this particular dealership. I was there for 4.5 years.
Okay.
And then I went to another spot and then came back. But along the way, it's definitely been a journey.
Right?
Had it all taken away from me too. So.
Keep sharing with them and getting close so they can hear you, and I'll get the music killed.
So that's pretty much a little background of where I'm from. I've always been a car nerd. That's something I've always really, really enjoyed. So that's kind of what drew me to this. I wasn't always the smartest guy. I mean, if I applied myself, of course, but I didn't know how to work hard. So this industry really helped me out with that. But me as a person, right now, I've got a beautiful girlfriend. I have 2 very awesome German Shepherds. Just moved houses recently, so things in life are coming along, and it's been a lot, and I'm learning a lot with this stuff too. So growing as a person in that way. But me myself, if it's anything cars or Bengals football related, that's pretty much my thing. So
Yeah, that's your jam.
that is.
Okay, so keep going.
Okay.
Tell me more. What this season you've had in the auto industry. Tie that in with the haunting.
Well, I developed an issue with alcohol.
Okay.
Being in the car industry. The place that I was at, I compared to the Wild Wild West. At first it was fun, it started out with, 2, 3 shots.
Yeah.
And then it turned into 5, and then it turned into a 5th and a beer.
Wow.
Things got pretty out of control, and there was no consequences for those particular actions.
Right?
And performing the way I was performing, pretty much could do whatever I wanted to do. So if you're selling 20 cars a month, hey, do what you want. so nobody really said anything.
Yeah.
But then it turned into a little darker avenue. I really started to get mentally tore down and beat, and I wasn't using it for fun or social events. Like, it turned in from 2-3 days a week to now it's 5 days a week, and then it's every day. And I don't know if you know how that does on your body, but it's not very good.
Yeah.
So I wound up using it as a crutch, and I stayed miserable and finally made a change. But God pointed me in a direction that I thought was the right direction. Maybe it wasn't, maybe it was, maybe I needed the experience.
Right.
So I left that place due to that, and the issue got a little bit better, but it was more, I had less time to drink, so I was consuming more in a shorter period of time.
Busier. Yeah.
So
sometimes that's what we got to do to get out of the place, right? Like the devil's in the downtime, as they say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember my first day at the new place. I got alcohol shakes and was sweating so bad that I almost had to tell them I was going to go home.
Right.
So that was my first time being fully sober for a 12-hour work period, and almost would have been 3.5 years.
Wow.
So really struggled with that at first. It cut back for a little bit, and then some financial issues came up. I went from making X amount of money to nowhere near that, and at this point, I've got a pretty expensive car payment. Everybody knows rent's, very expensive.
Yeah,
so.
especially when you're driving like Corvettes and stuff.
Yeah. And Audis are not cheap too.
Audis are not cheap, right?
But that kind of threw me into a loop of depression, and I went back to again drinking more. I didn't drink at work there, but I was just drinking more after I got off.
Right.
So
right.
A couple shots when I got on the interstate type thing.
Wow.
So pretty low point in my life. Got turned upside down. Went through a miserable spot. Finally, I went back to the old dealership that I went to, or that I originally started at, and the problem just persisted and kept on getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I think really what it boiled down to was not having time to do the things that I love. So, that's something. I was working 9 to 8 Monday through Friday, 9 to 6 on Saturday, and never had a guilt-free day off.
Sure.
So eventually that's going to tear me down. So it had gotten to a point where I knew where the earliest liquor store was. I would go, and that's what I would do all day. Didn't really affect my performance, I would say, in the sales aspect that I thought, but definitely a toll on my body. I gained a ton of weight. I used to do bodybuilding, great shape, and all of that, all the things that I used to enjoy were just taken from me.
Yeah.
So that's what I looked forward to every day, because it helped you escape your problems.
Sure.
You don't hit it, head on. But a few months ago, well, I guess it's been a little longer than that, God basically humbled me to the best of his ability, I feel like.
Yeah.
I had hit rock bottom.
Yeah, God will do that.
So now I drive a little different car. Luckily my girlfriend, she has been very, very solid rock for me. I'm very appreciative for her. She's honestly the reason that I was even able to make it through that.
Right.
And I hid a lot of that stuff from her. That's kind of how my last relationship kind of crumbled.
Sure.
Due to that and being away all the time. And I swore that that's not something I'm ever going to do again. I basically had a vision of like, I have to do something. And one day, I had been working on the drinking at that point. I had been sober 2 months, 3 months. One of the hardest things I've ever done.
Right.
Don't recommend it, and probably didn't do the safe way.
You recommend being sober, but you don't recommend having to get to that point.
Yeah, don't definitely see a doctor.
I got sober. I don't recommend it.
No. Yeah. So that was a very dangerous time. Alcohol withdrawals can kill you if you don't do it properly.
Yeah.
And it was not proper.
Got it.
Kind of a little PTSD from that, but that is no longer how my life is. And one day, I called Zach. I saw what was going on with 800%, and I was like, I've watched all of Glenn's videos. I've been involved. I knew who he was. I worked at the dealership that he grew to that point, and that's kind of the reason that I wanted to come over here. I didn't even really know all of the details.
Right.
It could have been we worked 9 to 9 every single day, and I was like, "Yep, I'm in. Let's go."
Right.
So I had it was just out of the blue. I was just gonna call Zach and say, "What's up?" Because I had heard he was the GM, so I give him a call. Conversation went really well. Well, next thing you know, I'm coming in for an interview. Zach saw me at my lowest point. He really did, and I think going into that, I had a lot to prove in the first place.
Sure.
I think being open and talking about it now, from the outreach that I had yesterday, I mean, obviously a lot of people know me and care about me, so that is something that I want to delete from my name, get rid of. I want to show that you can do better, you can progress, you can move forward. It's just being strong in your faith and listening to the people around you. And, instead of going into conversations combatively, listen. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
Right.
But you can't do that also while inebriated,
Right.
because that heightens your emotions,
all the things.
You don't process anything.
Yeah.
It's a very weird thing if you've never struggled with addiction. So some people know what it's like, some people don't.
It's very hard to understand it until you've experienced it. That's for sure.
I do disagree that some people say it's a disease. I believe it is a mental strength choice, and you can put your mind to anything and you can achieve it. I mean, it's just a matter of, okay, whenever my alarm goes off and I don't want to get up at 6 a.m. Okay,
Right.
just do it.
Right.
That's kind of one of those things that I did, is just altered my brain and really dug into myself. And here recently, we were talking about identity, and that really got me thinking. And the past few weeks, thinking who am I really? And I've had time to find that out now, and I'm starting to figure it out. It's almost like getting back to my old self, like the good old self,
Right,
not
right,
that old
right.
self, but doing things that I enjoy, with car shows, and so ready for football. But,
yeah, me too.
yeah, motorcycles, all that stuff. Those are things that I enjoy,
Right.
And I got robbed of that for a long time. So now, using that as an outlet instead of looking to alcohol for that is much, much better.
So you're fighting that, you've been in that fight, you're winning that fight, you're crushing that fight, and I love the words you just used. You said there are a lot of people that care about you, that were reaching out, right? Yesterday after seeing Monday's videos. So you're in the midst of sharing your new grasp on who you are, right? Your new identity with the world. And then here we are in a Monday morning meeting, and I throw out a question, right? That takes in. So that's where this haunting thing comes in, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so now, talk about that real quick. Just the last couple of days, was it good for you to hear that? Were you pissed off about that?
I think it was good for me to hear it on a personal level, because it just goes to show that I do have more to prove. I moved houses, started a new job, new car, all that stuff, just to have a fresh start. And I kind of thought it was gone a little bit. I didn't really hear a whole lot about it.
Yeah.
And then I just saw it, and I was like, dang. It's still there. So
My bad, bro. And I didn't know, just so everyone knows, I did not know your history. I was just asking a question based on, the sequence of actions, which I didn't even really see because I've been out of town for the last month. So just kind of what I heard. But I thought it was important, and I think it is important that in order to grow and develop into the best versions of ourselves that we can possibly be, I think it is important that the people that care about you most are willing to talk about the things that are sometimes uncomfortable to talk about, right? And so we're trying to create a culture around that here, where we will have the conversations out of care, out of concern, out of love, not with any malicious intent. But you told me on the phone, and when we talked, you told me, that to you was like a motivator.
Yeah.
Hearing those things.
Yeah, I mean, it really did. The only thing if it was just me, it's no problem.
Yeah.
There were some things said to somebody I really care about.
Yeah.
My temper was probably going to get the best of me. So some of the people saying the things I was not very happy about. So,
yeah. And that's the thing in these situations, right? Like, there's always collateral damage to those that we love. And for me, I used to live that, Logan, as you know. And so it became even more important to me to walk in a way that the ones I loved would never have to experience any more of that, because I put them through it for so long, right? And so it's like, keep your nose clean, perform at the highest level, win, right? And you got all these haters, and you got people that want to cut you down, and people that want to bring you back. They say if you put a bunch of crabs in a pot, anytime a crab tries to crawl out, another crab's going to pull it down, right? No one wants to see you win. And the only way to break out of that is just freaking dominate, right? Perform at the highest level in all aspects of our lives. That's what it really means to live 800%.
Absolutely.
You agree or no?
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
800%. Now, this person you deeply care about.
Yes.
What's up with that? You in love?
Yeah.
You in love?
We're going on 3 years now. She puts up with me. I wouldn't fight her, but
She can take you?
Man, she's tough. Like, I've tried.
Yeah.
No,
So
I don't
she's
wrestle with her. Yeah, she hurts me.
Okay. Yeah. So overall situation, overall scenario, where you're at in your life right now, how are you feeling moving forward? What are the actions Logan's going to be taking?
So a couple things is, first we're going to start with the gym. Been periodically going back, but that's really the best mental release you can possibly get, and waking up early as well. It's really easy to just stay in bed, especially when you are depressed or whatever's going on. Don't deal with stress very well.
Yeah.
That's easy to do. So it really follows down the 8 steps, of what 800% means.
Yeah.
So following those is something that I'm taking, mental note of. I believe you can have your own definition for each of those 8 things.
Sure.
It's figuring out that definition of those 8 things.
Like when fitness is one of the categories. Well, what does that look like to you? It's different for everybody, right? And there's different ways to attack that.
So other than that, just staying focused, not focusing on past issues, moving forward in a fresh start, and just working my butt off. I mean, getting in front of customers, I love selling cars. It's fun.
Right.
And it's rewarding because you get to solve a problem. So definitely getting back to my passion of that, and just enjoy some more me time. Spend time with the people I care about.
Invest time.
That's
right.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited too with the Sabbath week. I'll actually be able to go home and see my parents.
That's gonna be cool.
I've not in 6 years.
Wow.
Been in Paducah longer than 2 days.
Wow. So you're gonna be able to invest a week into the family that way. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Of course, catching up with old friends too. I mean, there's friends that were my best friends I haven't seen in 6 years because of my
What time is it?
work schedule.
I love that is how you're going to invest your time, and that is the whole point of the Sabbath weeks, to be able to create an environment where you guys can do that. So I wanted you guys to get to know Logan a little bit better, other than just the 60-second clip 32 minutes into another video.
Hey, everybody knows my name though.
I wanted you to get to know Logan a little bit better, so you could hear his whole story. And I guess we'll just end this by saying, so Logan, I had some people that called me and they were like, I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you did that. Do you love me more or hate me for that conversation?
I love you still.
That's right. And we're just going to get better, right?
Yes, sir.
And now my guy Logan has a chip on his shoulder, and I personally have a little chip on my shoulder too. And I think that it's important, right, to take those little chips that we have on our shoulder and use them as fuel to be the best versions of ourselves that we can possibly be. And I believe in you. You know this.
Yes, sir.
I believe in you wholeheartedly. And I think that this experience altogether is going to be something we look back on 10 years from now when we're hanging out on, what are you going to name your yacht?
That's a good question.
Yeah, you need to get the name of the yacht.
I'm gonna add that one to my agenda.
Yeah, so you'll be on your yacht, I'll be on my yacht. We'll hang out together at the lake or wherever we're at, but we have to have separate yachts. That's what I've decided.
It's a flex.
Yeah.
I don't have jet skis though.
Yeah, even if there's just you on one and me on the other, like we just have to have two, you know?
Yeah,
And we'll look back and we'll go, hey man, this was a great season, and hopefully we've both grown together. So I appreciate your ability to take some constructive feedback and ultimately use it as fuel to be better. And thanks for sharing your story, man. It's hard to do.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah, you're the man.
Thanks, sir.
Appreciate you. All right, that's your update for today from me anyway. I get to take Joel to basketball practice, and then I get to take Joel to soccer practice in 94-degree heat outside, but I'm not the one running around at least. So I'm gonna go do those things. Logan's gonna get back to selling some cars. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, ask questions, all of those things, and we'll see you tomorrow.